hoping that you will realise that you are capable of changing not only your own world, but the whole country and the world around you. What we're going to do today is show the government that young people matter, but also hip-hop's important, and that's why we're going to be doing a cypher in Parliament House, right in the heart of Parliament House. Alright, so you with me?
Yeah.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, who's got some music? We've got to bust some tunes out.
Yeah.
Right,
B-boys, B-girls, poppers, lockers, breakers, skaters, capital whisters, croppers, ballerinas, tap dancers, people of planet Earth.
I've never heard of anything like that happening in here before, so congratulations on being a part of it. Now we have Michelle wants to say a few words, is that right?
I just want to thank you very much for coming here. In fact, if this could be a daily event, Matt, if you could organise this to bring some colour and movement into all our lives. Look, we're just working really hard to make sure that you've got the resources and support that you need to carry on the fantastic works of the Ted Noffs Foundation. We'll keep that up. This is a great example of bringing communities together. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everyone, for coming on. The Ted Noffs Foundation is one of the approved recipients of a funding grant, the Building Multicultural Communities program, in which over $14 million was allocated on the last federal budget to assist in diversity and bringing communities together. And we all know the fantastic work that the Ted Noffs Foundation does, including drug and alcohol, trauma counselling, and also some really innovative programs around Western Sydney and other disadvantaged parts of Australia. Now, as I said, this has been initiated by Matt. We're very pleased to support him. In the spirit of bipartisanship, I don't think anyone could dispute how important the Ted Noffs Foundation is. And like many other groups, their funding has unfortunately been frozen by this government for these approved grants. And as I stress, budgeted grants that were actually in the budget. So today, we call on, in the spirit of bipartisanship, the government to release funding for these grants so that people like Matt Noffs and his organisation can continue to do the great work they do. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Michelle. As Michelle said, not only Ted Noffs Foundation, but a range of other organisations received letters saying they were successful in a range of different submissions that we applied for. For us, it was for a grant of $85,000, and for some people that's small bickies, but for an organisation like ours, it's a lot. We rely on government funding and community support, but we're seeing government retreat and retreat and retreat from organisations like ours. And if the Prime Minister believes that business interests are in the marrow of the government's bones, well, I would say that in the heart of Australia, that the community is really the thing that runs through and courses through the veins of the country. It is the community interest that should be at the heart of everything that we do. If we do cut away at community organisations like Noffs, what will happen is that the economy will suffer. It's simple. The reason why we're ahead in the world right now is because we have things like Medicare, because we have lower crime, lower rates of drug abuse than other countries around the world. Let's keep it that way, and let's make sure that this government can keep that legacy of having low crime and low drug use.
Thanks very much. The Ted Noffs Foundation for decades has been doing great work in our community, benefiting tens of thousands of people over the years, including these young people that are here with us today. It's absolutely inexplicable that money that has been set aside to fund this organisation and others like it should be cut, and cut right before Christmas when need in our community is greatest.
The Ted Noffs Foundation is a wonderful asset for our community. The work that they do in supporting children and families afflicted by drugs and alcohol is simply priceless. The Ted Noffs Foundation do not deserve the uncertainty. They do not deserve to be treated like this by the Abbott government. They applied for, in good faith, funding under the Building Multicultural Communities program. They were awarded that funding. They deserve that funding to be delivered by the Abbott government, as do other recipients of that wonderful program. I've seen firsthand in my community the wonderful work that Matt Noffs, his volunteers and staff do in rebuilding the lives of people afflicted by drugs and alcohol. This money is going to supporting kids and ensuring that their education continues whilst they are undertaking some of the Noffs Foundation's important programs. They don't deserve to be treated like this by the Abbott government, and we call on Tony Abbott and the Minister Kevin Andrews to release the funding for these important programs.
Can we thank everyone for coming? Thank you.